What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing a series review. Now, this series is actually in partner with another set of books, but the author has slowed down on the release of the books in the other part of the series. So I figured it makes sense to just do a series review of the 3 books that we have so far. If that sounds like something you guys are interested in, definitely stick around for the video. It's reading time here at JBay's Corner. For those of you that are new here, my name is Jaya. I put out videos every Wednesday and Sunday on bookish related content. And today I'm going to be talking about the Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings. This is a series I actually completed reading a little while back, and it was one that stuck with me. I love Jessa Hastings' writing style. I think she just has a phenomenal way of creating a scene and writing a story. Recently, I did do a review on a book I read by her called Conditions of Will, which we read last month, and that's kind of what inspired me to do this video. So if that sounds like fun, you're definitely in the right place. For those of you that are new here, welcome to the channel. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I love talking all things books on this channel because I do have a mild fiction addiction. A mild fiction addiction. If that sounds like something that is up your alley, you're definitely in the right place. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss out on all the videos being posted. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for being here. This channel would not exist without you guys. Thank you for your love, for your support, for your comments. I truly appreciate it. I love the community that we're creating here on this channel, and it wouldn't be possible without each and every one of you. So thank you so much for being here. Now, this review is going to be relatively brief, only because of the fact that I don't want to give away too many spoilers. But in the series, we are following 2 main characters, Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne. They have what can only be described as an extremely toxic relationship. However, their love story spans years and years and years from childhood onwards. If you think about it, it's kind of a childhood romance, second chance throughout the entirety of the series. And also we get to meet the box set, which includes Henry. It includes, I'm blanking. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry about that. It also includes Henry and Jonah, who are brothers. And then we also have Christian as well. At one point in time, Magnolia and Christian did have a thing, but that breaks up very quickly. And then he ends up with Daisy Hates, which is what the rest of the world and books are about. So far, there's 2 Daisy Hates books that have been released. We're waiting for quite a few of them to come out still. And Magnolia Parks is primarily following the story of Magnolia and BJ Ballantyne. However, we also see some overlap with the Daisy Hates characters. Now, in this first book, we are basically following the story of BJ and Magnolia and why their relationship fell apart in the first place. Essentially, BJ does end up cheating on Magnolia, and she finds out about it, and throughout the course of the book there's questions about reconciliation, but at the same time she's just very angry because he wasn't loyal to her. And then as the book proceeds, we kind of understand where that situation came from, and it's absolutely heartbreaking, and a lot of things just fall apart at the end. This book is one of those books that's filled with metaphors and similes. It also has amazing fashion in it, if you're interested in that. It is London's rich and elite, very Gossip Girl style, so that's something to consider. Trigger warnings, it does have talks about abuse, it does have talks about drugs, and it does have talks about gangs and things like that, so just something to consider. But overall, the story is absolutely heart-wrenchingly beautiful. It is one of those books where it's a love story through time, and it takes 3 books for them to reconcile, but it is a wonderful story to read nonetheless. Magnolia is also a character who has been very flawed, is the best way I can describe her. She's an absolute brat in so many different ways. She is extremely full of herself. She knows she's gorgeous and she uses it to her advantage. She expects people to just fall at her feet and do the things that she likes. And yes, it is actually very difficult to like Magnolia Parks, but as the story continues, you realize that there's a lot more depth to her character, a lot more love, a lot more loyalty, and a lot of definition to her as a person that really makes her someone that's worth rallying around. It's also very difficult for someone who's been in the limelight, I think, from a very young age to handle that well, and especially when her parents have been so uninvolved throughout the course of her life and very negligent in their own right. It kind of makes sense that she is the way she is. Her closest confidant and best friend is her younger sister, Bridget. Bridge is absolutely adorable. It's so much fun to see their relationship. She is the opposite of Magnolia. She doesn't care about fashion. She doesn't care about looks. She's all about psychology. She's gotten into studies and she's doing very well for herself. She'll be starting in university soon for psychology, and she is basically the mother that Magnolia doesn't have. They're also very close to their housekeeper. Meanwhile, we have BJ Valentine and Henry Valentine, who are the brothers that I was speaking about earlier. They are very, very close to one another. They're pretty close in age too. Henry is Magnolia's absolute best friend in the whole wide world. And then we also have Jonah, who is the older brother of Christian. He is extremely, extremely close to BJ. And then Christian Hems is the younger brother of Jonah. He is the one who also had a short-term fling with Magnolia Parks that led to a little bit of ruination in their relationship. And then he's the one that ends up starting to date Daisy Hates and realizing that there's real potential there. And the Daisy Hates series follows his story with her. But yeah, that's the basic gist of this book. It's just a giant romance novel of toxic romance, and it is fascinating and incredible. You go through all kinds of emotions reading this. There's not enough words for me to explain like how many things there are to highlight in these books too. Like, it's just so beautiful. And the relationship between all these characters and the found family that they have is stunning. Definitely loved this book. This was a solid 5-star read for me. In the second Magnolia Parks book, we actually get introduced more to the overlap between Daisy Hates and Magnolia Parks. In this book, Magnolia and BJ once again find themselves in a very horrible situation where initially BJ was the one who was the cheater. Now BJ is dating someone and Magnolia and him are trying to figure out whether or not they have a relationship or not. They intermingle, and then she finds herself on the other side of the line where she's the other woman, if you will. And so that leads to a lot of disarray between her and BJ, and they find themselves on the outs again. In that process, Magnolia decides she's going to go after the man whose attention that she wants and is one of the most dangerous but most sought after, if you will, bachelors in London, and that is Daisy's older brother. Julian, who is the older brother of Daisy Hates, is a known criminal. He basically is the reigning lord of this very well-known gang in London. He's very, very dangerous, and he does get himself into uncomfortable situations, but they primarily steer clear of anything associated with children, kidnappings, things like that, and primarily focus on stealing and selling art that is very, very, very old. So if you love art and you love like Italy and Rome, like those types of romantic vibes, then this book is going to be perfect for you. Julian and Magnolia's story is beautiful to read. It is also heart-wrenching as well, and it's just so sweet to see Magnolia let her guard down, and it's more sweet, I would say, to see Julian let his guard down as well. We definitely get more of that perspective, Julian's perspective specifically, in the second Daisy Hates book, but it was overall a sweet read. We also get to see Magnolia and Daisy, who have always kind of been at odds with one another, never quite gotten along, kind of start to reconcile. We also see BJ and Magnolia slowly start to repair their rift as well. This book, again, is very beautiful. It's more of a love triangle story, I would say. And then the heart-wrenching moment in this series definitely happens at the end of this book when a beloved character ends up dying. But again, absolutely beautiful. And the question really is, how many loves do you get in a lifetime? Oh, I'm tearing up thinking about the end of this book. It is absolutely to die for. I love it. I love all of the similes, the metaphors, again, all of the fashion. It's just such a perfect combination of everything in a book, and it's actually very much closed doors. All these books are closed doors, but you definitely understand that there's a lot going on behind these closed doors. We also have a slew of other secondary characters which are interesting to read. throughout the course of these series as well. In general, just a great set of books. And the box set in general, like reading about Jonah and Henry and BJ and Magnolia and Christian and their relationship to one another and the found family that brings them together outside of the romance is just such a powerful storyline. I mean, beautifully done. Jessa Hastings just has a way with words. I absolutely loved this book as well. Solid 5 stars. Last but not least, in the Magnolia Park series, we have Into the Dark. This is the final book in the series. This starts off with everybody reeling after the death of a very important character. Magnolia is facing a lot of PTSD right now. She's dealing with a lot in terms of coping with her eating disorders. She and BJ also share a very traumatic event that happened between the two of them when they were younger, and they're reeling from that and the what that situation left for both of them in the wake of what they had to do and the pain that that caused. I'm trying really hard to explain the book without giving away any spoilers. We also get to see just a complete and total rift between Magnolia and Julian and Daisy. That entire family has just kind of disappeared because they're dealing with their own BS because of the gang wars that are taking place at the same time that this book is starting. And we get to see just a lot. There's a lot that happens in this book. It's a very emotional book. It's a very healing journey for Magnolia and BJ. We really get to see them grow as characters, and they finally come into their own as adults. They find a way to reconcile with their families, to deal with childhood traumas. They deal with a lot of their own PTSDs. And more importantly, they learn how to love each other properly, and they learn how to be with one another without hurting one another. And I think that journey was just really beautiful to read. And I think it definitely leaves you rooting for both of these characters. Once again, trying to explain the book without giving away too much detail. But the way that this book is structured and the point from which it starts with the devastating loss that we see, it was just really beautiful to see how this book still captures the spirit of the character that is lost, and how all of them, like all of the box set, kind of rally around the person who lost their person, if you will. It is a beautifully done book. Solid 5 stars as well. And that does bring me to the end of this video. I realized that was a very sparse review. It is hard to talk about the Magnolia Park series, I'm realizing, in terms of review without giving away too much, because the book itself actually doesn't have a lot that's happening in it in terms of action sequence or experiences or moments that are happening. It's a very emotive series. The book is really about character development. It's really about inner turmoil of characters, character inner dialogue as well as external dialogue. It's about them battling their own demons. BJ battles addiction, Magnolia battles PTSD, and she also deals with a lot of body image issues and eating disorders and things like that. And you just get to see like how their family dynamics have impacted them. There's a lot that happens in these books, and I think in terms of character development and in terms of creating a storyline where you really feel like you're with those characters and you really feel like they're family or friends of your own, Jessa Hastings just has a way with words and with a way of writing these books. As I mentioned, these are solid 5-star reads for me. I do see myself picking them up and reading them in the future. These are also books that I don't ever see myself doing Audible with because they're just so much fun to physically read. They're just great books. And I definitely think anyone who's in the mood for a tragic, toxic, but happy ending love story should definitely consider picking up any of the Jessa Hastings series. Start with Magnolia Parks, and then there's 2 Daisy Hates books, but they are meant to be read as a connected series. At this time, we have 2 of the Daisy Hates books, which I'm not reviewing here because the rest of the Daisy Hates books have not yet been released. And then we have the Magnolia Park series that are also happening and is now concluded. Overall, just a great series. Definitely recommend. For those of you guys that made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that are new, if you loved this review and you have also liked books like Magnolia Parks, definitely leave recommendations below. I would love to know what you guys liked, didn't like. I would love to know if there's any other books that you think would be a good fit, if they're similar to this. Also, if you felt like this was something that is up your alley, again, consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this video. And for those of you that are new here, for those of you that are returning, thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me to have this community with you guys. And I wouldn't be able to do what I love doing, which is reading and creating videos without each and every one of you. So thank you again for your support. And I will leave everybody with this. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're feeling safe, loved, and secure. And I'm hoping that you're getting plenty of time to rest, relax, and read. I'll catch you guys on the flip side with the next video. Bye.